I have recently obtained my dream Ren Faire little like handbag. It is something I have always wanted, and just imagine my reaction when I found my dream Ren Faire bag at the Goodwill bin when I was in LA with my mother recently. It needed a little revitalizing, so I'll show what I did for that. I like the current bag trend where you just have a bunch of accessories just on your bag. Also was like, well, what theme do I want to go with? And that's when YouTube Music was like, hun, you've literally only listened to Chappell Roan almost exclusively for the last several months. So I went with Chappell Roan merch because I honestly can't afford at the moment to buy Chappell Roan merch because I do believe in supporting your favorite artists, especially your favorite artist's favorite artist. However, I am poor, and also I was looking at like the shirts, super cute. Also, a hoodie can never go wrong with a nice, comfy hoodie. Downside, as much as I love how sustainably they're made, they do not extend into my size range at the moment. I do hope that changes in the future because I would absolutely love to buy. And I am having my eyes on that bandana and the paper dolls. I think they're so cute. But again, I'm poor. So stick around if you want to see me revitalize a straw bag and see how I made my own Chappell Roan merch. So the thing I started with was, again, a cute straw purse, my ideal purse I found at the Goodwill bins. And the best way to reshape, whether it's a straw hat or a straw purse like this, is to use steam. So this is just my little steamer. I love that it's a little hair dryer shape. It is very ergonomic for me to use. I use it mainly on my wigs. So here I am just taking a steamer to it. It is my preferred method, and just be very careful. Steam can hurt, so just do your best to not put yourself in the line of fire and just go around, take it easy. Keep in mind, when it comes to natural fire, it's the truth with both your hair as well with straw, that you want to let it cool down in the shape that you want it to form in. So here I just wanted to demonstrate another option of just taking your iron and steam blasting it while also ironing it. And this is how I reshaped both the upper side as well as the lower side and flattened out the bottom as well, was just with my iron. I wanted to keep that kind of like prominent ridge that happens there halfway through between the colors. So this is just how I managed to reshape it. It did get a little kind of pointy and I didn't like it as much, so I did flatten and kind of round out the ledge point, because straw will, at least this straw, contracted a lot, and that's how I was able to reshape it from what it looked like before. So now that that's out of the way, let's move on into the charms. The first keychain I want to get into is this butterfly. I used a already pre-cut piece of leather I had in my stash. I believe this was from when I had purchased a buttload of leather from an estate sale in Phoenix, like in 2020, and I'm still not even through all the leather. So I started off by punching a hole so I would have somewhere to put the keychain ring through, and then I pulled out some just rhinestones for my stash. I think I got these at SAS in Tempe like several years ago, and then since I wanted something that will flex with the leather as far as adhesives, I went in with E6000. I mildly regret it using E6000 because the smell has kind of just clung to my house. I was in a well ventilated area. I literally have a window right in front of my desk so that I can open it and have that airflow. But apparently that wasn't enough, and I feel like the smell just won't leave. I did initially start off with what I normally do when it comes to placing stones, but usually I'm using larger stones and it's less of an issue, and usually I'm using like flat back pearls, because I have a tendency to pearl everything. So I did eventually switch to using like putting all the glue on it and then going in with the stones to just quickly top them off so I wouldn't have to deal with the glue drying as much. And I didn't have a specific method as far as placing stones. I just wanted sparkle, pretty sparkle, please. So just it happened to work out where I was able to fit it in rows fairly well, and just was careful when it came to going around the punch hole to try and get as much coverage without blocking the hole. And I didn't have any issues when it came to putting on the keyring, like I said. So it all worked out, and then I just had a very sparkly, pretty butterfly that I do love very much, and they are pink rhinestones, which I feel like is hard to see compared to the red backing. For this charm, we are starting off with a nice, thick, very stiff cut of leather. I am keeping the leather dry for this project, and I'm starting off with just masking tape because I don't have a set stencil, so I thought, you know what, my best bet is probably just sketching it out, trying to get the shape that I want. I haven't really done a lot of sketching outside of like just middle school wanting to be an artist type situation, but my medium has very much changed. But I felt confident enough, and I feel like the confidence kind of came through, which is very fortunate for me. And I'm just kind of going over my pencil sketch, trying to just darken up the lines, make it easier for me to see, kind of just finalizing the shape before deciding, oh hey, you know what, this cut of leather's a little big, so why don't we save the slightly larger piece? And I just transferred my tape design to a smaller piece that fit perfectly. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, when the first month that I was listening to this song, the want and the rabbit joke kind of went over my head, but I got it eventually, and I find it very funny, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm glad I got it, so I'm not still clueless walking around with this charm. But yeah, I just went at it with some scissors. These are some heavy duty ones. I use these specifically for cutting leather, because I don't have any other leather cutting tool, honestly. So just following the shape, trying to get it as close as I can. I did end up with some of the trickier spots going in with my box cutter with a fresh blade to get it nice and crisp, and then I did eventually go over the edges with some beeswax and my burnishing tool to not necessarily fully burnish it, but kind of just smooth it out. And then since I wasn't happy with the E6000 for these little leather pieces, I used the Eileen's OK to Wash, which to me is I highly recommend that glue. I have never had issues gluing leather with it. So highly recommend, holds great, very flexible hold, and dries clear, which is fantastic. And then as far as eyes, I was trying to decide. I thought initially red, then I went on to purple, and finally settled on a nice emerald green, which I loved, which I might be a little biased considering that's my birthstone. But I got that eye all glued on, and my cute little rabbit was pretty much done. I did later add the punch hole, I forgot initially. For our last little charm, we're gonna make a cute little pink pony. And for this, I did use the same method that I started with the rabbit of using some masking tape. This time I did it on the back of my leather instead of on the front. Not entirely sure why. I think I was concerned about messing up the face of the leather or having tackiness since I will be painting on it. Or I just started with it this way up and just went on from there. But I started sketching a design, hated it, started over, decided I did not need a charm that big, so I was like, okay, let's make something smaller. So here I am. I did once again start in the kind of the same spot of starting with the body, and I think that was my downfall because by the time I was getting to the head, it wasn't looking right, and my confidence from being able to successfully sketch the bunny the first time was my Icarus moment with this. So I ended up starting over for a third time. Third time's charm. Started with what I guess was the most difficult aspect to have as far as sizing, and this time it was going a lot better. I was a lot happier with this one. I did accidentally make it too low, or like didn't give myself enough like length to get the like legs perfectly fit in there. I literally just needed like 1/4 of an inch. So I just added an extra piece of tape so I could get that sketch in, get something I was happy with. And then from there, I readjusted the size, moved it back up, and then cut out, well, here I'm showing where I'm going to cut out the saddle piece later, but cut out our little pony friend. I feel like he needs a name, but I don't know what I want to name him. So if you have suggestions, please let me know. But yeah, if this was a thinner leather, this was a thinner leather, so it was a lot easier to cut out than the little rabbit. And with this, I also cut out a mirror piece so that it could be fully 3-dimensional. Then we moved on to painting, because again, it's supposed to be a pink pony. So luckily I had this kind of pink paint on hand, and I showed doing the first layer, and then I forgot I was filming this process. So each piece got 2 additional layers of paint that I am so sorry I did not show. But I did, you know what, I did my best. But yeah, everything for this project was just with things I had on hand. And then we move on to our current drying one. So I got it all stitched. I did a blanket stitch and just added a little stuffing in there because I wanted him to be fully 3-dimensional. And this is just how he dried overnight. And here's our final little pony. How cute! I added eyes. I added a little CR on the booty for, of course, Chappell Roan. So this is going to be our main thing that we attach the other keychains to, because I didn't want to risk damaging the straw purse. So he just kind of slides through his own little loop, and I love him so much. And then from there, we have our cute little rhinestone butterfly that I love that you can still see the original leather on the other side. But so cute. I'm tempted to kind of just paint something on the back of the butterfly, but I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want to put like a me signature or just something more Chappell Roan. And then our little wand with the rabbit. Oh, how cute. Oh, I love it. I love how everything turned out. I'm so happy with this whole project. It was so much fun and a nice little relaxing distraction that I very much needed. So thank you all for watching. If you have any ideas of what else I should make as far as whether Chappell Roan merch, leather scraps, let me know.